Well, hello, viewers from on high and on far and down low. Be sure to get your dip ready because this is the Salt and Vinegar podcast. I'm Salt,
I'm Vinegar.
and the and is our guest tonight. From the comfort of your own home, we bring you an exciting episode. Oh, that was Diana's line. Diana, you want to
That
steal
was
my
my
thunder?
line.
Steal my thunder!
And our guests shall introduce themselves.
I'm Lois. I'm an EonHawk, artist and illustrator specializing in animals and myths and legends.
Nice.
That is awesome. So, I don't know if you want to go first, Diana, but I just want to say real quick. I toured your Instagram earlier, EonHawk, and I love the animals. I saw you put up what looked like a tutorial, a speed painting of you had taken a picture of a cat, and then you like redid it in paint and gave it all these cool effects. I love that. Love that.
Thanks.
And is that how you do most of your animal paintings, or?
For commissions, so I have clients when I'm doing specific pet portraits. I learned early on that people, unless you have a strong style, they're really interested in just getting like as close to their animal as possible. So when I have a photo background of that pet, I can get a real close likeness of them. Digital drawing helps with that a lot. So really when I'm doing commissions, I use photo references for that. And then at the end, I use embellishments of colors or background to push my own style then at the end.
I love that.
So with that, because I bought your I believe it was the ghost house. So how is that like different from I guess like digital, or like I guess digital is I think sometimes still considered like non-traditional medium versus like hand drawing or like I guess what I don't know how the painting on the wood house would be considered, but I think it'd be considered a traditional medium.
It would, yes. For
Yeah.
here anyway, it's not as there's a whole craft section of like painting on objects that aren't like just ready for a frame to be hung up on a wall.
Oh, that
So,
jazz
and
got
with
louder.
digital, I
Jazz got
still think it is non-traditional, but as you know, as new generations are coming, and especially with things like the iPad making getting into digital drawing like so much easier. I've taught classes before with teenagers and kids younger who just we only work digitally or on the iPad or teach digital methods. So it's becoming more traditional, I suppose, but there's still the bias of like, oh, it's digital, so like you just do a couple buttons and then it's done, and like slowly that idea is changing. But yeah, the work that I do traditionally has a way different process than the work that I do digitally.
Yeah, because like back when Tumblr was a hot website, I used to see this debate about like
I used to use Tumblr
traditional
for so much
versus,
fucking
like,
porn.
non-traditional, and I was young, so it's like it's all art. What are you like? Why are you saying digital artists aren't like real artists? I didn't understand. Like I was like, art is art, I was like, so to see that debate, I mean, I do agree with you. I have seen more people being more positive with like digital, saying like, hey, this is a traditional form, just because it's electronic doesn't mean.
Oh yeah, and the techniques that you learn traditionally really help out digitally. And there's still techniques digitally, like in Photoshop or Illustrator, that you just have to kind of work your way through. But there's tons of techniques that translate over from a traditional, artistic learning that go into digital work, which like are a variety of things. So and things with like Instagram or TikTok, I think really helps with digital because so many people see quick introductions of like, hey, this is a trick that I use, or this is how I build my images, and just so many more people are doing digital now as an introduction.
Yeah, because like I've been always like I see, I don't know, like, I guess as an artist you can probably relate, but I've always seen, like, pictures in my head, but I've been, like, very cautious in terms of, like, drawing, because when I tried a lot of art, like, try it on a paper, and I'm like, oh boy. What I see is not appearing on the page.
There for bits and pieces of new designs or inspirations where I'm like, I really like this artist using this color palette, but oh, this artist over here is playing with lines that I really like, and that helps curate, I guess, my visual library. That's what I tell students is like the most important thing an artist can have is a visual library that they can pick from for their new pieces.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, that's you know, it's so funny. That's the spitting image of how I am with writing. You know, is just kind of having this like background drone music. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I remember a time when people and professors and teachers always used to say, you know, writing's distracting, or no, music's distracting. You can't have that music on. But like,
Oh
it's
God.
totally, yeah, it's totally not true. Like, music helps me hone in. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like if I'm listening to a spooky music, I'm totally gonna write a spooky atmosphere.
Yeah, just set your brain up into that, I guess, setting that you needed without you having to redirect, decorate your entire room or like have to go somewhere for a second. Like music really transports you um, into a mental place that you're ready for that you can create from there. It's incredible. I'm incredibly thankful for what musicians do. Like they just make magic. I don't know how they do it.
Couldn't agree more. Heck yeah. So with the inspirations of like the other stuff, I guess I will go back to the front thing there that I was trying to avoid for no reason in particular. And what are famous artists that have like struck you when like I'm trying to avoid getting into this question, but I guess I just will because it's totally impossible to not ask this. Um, what were some artists that inspired you early on, and how did you get into art?
That's a very good question because like I guess people are always curious about like what how does someone like become an artist because it doesn't come naturally to everyone. They're like how did you do it? How did you go
Yeah.
into this? Um, so for me, like the traditional artist side of it is like obviously Van Gogh. I mean, I liked his work when I was little, but then I came back around to his work in college, especially when I got to see a lot of it in a gallery in New York. I mean, and the thing was, is like I saw Starry Night in person. It made me cry, it made me weep, and I was like, it's beautiful. Um,
Huh.
but the big thing was I saw his letters to his brother. I got to see his journal pages, like each one separated, beautifully hung up between glass. They don't come out very often because they're so delicate. And he used a bamboo pen that you have to dip in ink, um, write to his brother, and then also to do sketches beneath that. And like you got to look it up. Like the line work, I'm getting goosebumps right now. The line work of those sketches were like just showed me what a master he was without even trying. He just had so much confidence in what he was doing. Um, so he's definitely like a traditional inspiration of mine, like his color usage, how he saw these, how he placed color and vibrancy everywhere, or deader colors as well. And he's also the epitome of like a, I guess, a starving artist, but not really that. Like everyone kind of sees him as this tragic figure who made beautiful art, but like he was not neither tragic in the sense that they think, nor was he. I mean, he might have been troubled, but like he I don't know how to say it. I think he gets a bad rap, honestly. Um,
So I'm looking into this guy's art right now. Clarification. You say Genko. Do you mean Genko Genkov or Jakuhitsu Genko?
no, no, no. Van Gogh.
Oh, Van Gogh. Oh, I'm
Yes.
looking at a random person's art.
He
But
was
I
inspired by Japanese prints, so like you're not far off in that inspiration.
okay. Oh my God. Okay, divine coincidence. I was looking at Japanese abstract art just now. Okay. Heck
Yes.
yeah.
So that was definitely inspirational. But someone you should look up, um, Allison Theus, Theus. I think it's Theus maybe. Um, they do creature design. They got me first into the concept of like just building your own world because they wanted to. They made these incredibly large serpentine creatures that just ate entire worlds and universes like it was nothing. They were the first artists where I saw that like only digital online stuff, a couple of ink stuff as well. Alison Deus was the first person that I saw online on Tumblr, funnily enough, um,
That's so
where
awesome.
I was just like, I'm in love. I'm in love with a concept in a world, and I want it to exist.
That me too. I'm looking
Yeah.
at her stuff right now. I'm like, yeah, this is really inspiring stuff.
painter of light,
interesting.
more like the
So,
painter of Hallmark.
you're never gonna run out of artists to show me, because I don't know a lot about like artists by name, because
No problem with
yeah,
that.
yeah, the scenic painters like Thomas Kincaid is a popular one, but not just him. And I only bring him up because his name is so Hiri. But like I like to look at Martin Bell, Nikki Burma, Kim Sung. Ruane Manning is a famous one. Ruane Manning is a painter who does a lot of like Italy, scenes of Italy.
I mean, I don't like. So these are also beautiful in their own way because they have like I'm reminding myself of Kincaid's work right now. He's the oil painter that does like these beautifully romantic, like very full scenes, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah, so they're beautiful in their own way. I think it might be maybe there's a tiredness, at least from an artistic perspective of pastiche, because you see it in everyone's house, kind of like it's reached its best at this point in that field of art. So you know what
Pastiche.
the best is. It's like
More
getting
like
it as
toothpaste.
realistic as possible and like having a full control of colors and stuff like that. But there's nothing like bad about it. It's beautiful work. It just might not be like with postmodern or postmodern or whatever, how modern we are at this point in art. It's gone way past that, in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah, and I love to listen to people's opinions about that stuff, critiquing the pastiche and analyzing it, because I like to listen to a lot of postmodern thinkers and lecturers. I don't know if you know this guy, but you know a British guy by the name of Mark Fisher?
Why does that name sound familiar? Maybe. A lot of names sound familiar.
He's a postmodern British thinker who's a critic of capitalism. He wrote a book called Capitalist Realism, but yeah, it's very
Mark
interesting
Fisher,
stuff.
you like to fish, you like to fish.
So,
Fish.
so pass it off to Vinegar over here.
Oh. Okay. All right. Hold on. Let me look back on the thing.
Do 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 do
Okay. So
do
the third one would be cause you said that you were, I believe you were attending like a art thing this weekend.
Yeah, I do a couple of markets. I couldn't go to my last one because I got sick right before it, so I was like, nope, not working a market sick, no thank you. But the one I'm attending now is an artist guild in the town that I'm staying in right now. So like it's like a 3-day event where like the first night they invite all the artists to, which is
Ooh,
very
music's
nice,
getting louder
nice event.
again.
It's like an
Oh,
artist
man.
night, so like we can look at any of the gallery work that's hung up. We can have free food and drink, and then Saturday and Sunday are like art market day. So it's like I moved to a tiny town this past year called Dalton, Georgia. It's up in the mountains. And so they are hosting this
Rocky
art
Mountain
event.
High.
I was able
Rocky
to apply
Mountain
and get in.
High.
So I'll just like at these events I sell either framed digital artwork of mine or painted items. So like the house that you have, like I have more of those ready as well.
Okay.
I will also sell prints, and I've been perfecting my at-home sticker stuff, so I'll still sell those as well. Because I think like I try to market to people saying that like, you know, I try to be environmentally friendly. I try to get packaging that's as recyclable or zero waste as possible. And I try to make as much of my stuff at home, so then like I don't have to worry about like shipping concerns or like the environmental impact of that.
What is this? A podcast? I thought it was a podcast.
Yeah. Which is like, you know, cause I've seen people sell their stuff at like we have a local Comic-Con that happens like I think like once a year in like July.
Oh, amazing.
And yeah, and like we have this like expo center, and so some artists will come in, and I got I think a Dragon Age fan art, I think a Fenris.
Yes.
And then I got a little cat. It was like when you put it in the light, there was like shining onto it. I don't know what that's called. I can't remember.
Like hollow sticker, like the hollow film kind of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
it's so popular. I have a hollow sticker, like the stag beetle crest that I did, and I gotta admit, I love shiny so much that I just want to get holographic film and like put it over everything that I make. It's so fun.
Yeah, so like I didn't know if like there was Sully or something.
Scully,
There's
yeah.
a great book.
Sully.
If you haven't read the Skullduggery Pleasant series, you should read that book because the skeleton man in there is like so good of like British quips, and I love him so much.
I need to read Skullduggery Pleasant again. I read it once eons ago when I was in middle school, prehistoric times.
I tried to read it, but just like with Harry Potter, I never felt attraction to it.
Shame.
Like, which, yeah, I mean, I like the concept of it. One of my former friends really liked it, so I guess I probably won't touch it until they're a distant memory. Which could be. No.
Strong.
But I mean, I like the concept of it. I know for a while there was an issue with like the age gap between like the two main characters because people were like for some reason shipping them.
Oh yeah, that's problematic. She's like 12, and he's like
He's a skeleton!
Well, he's
Well,
skeleton,
but-
and he's also like hundreds of years old. Like it's
Yes.
the worst problem of like, oh, she's a child, but like she looks like a child, but it's okay because she's actually a 100-year-old dragon. And you're like, no, it's not. It's still a child body.
That's what we keep telling animators, and they still keep making like 23-year-old women look like they're 10.
You know what? Unfortunately, I saw that same video by Noralities.
But so I guess one of our last questions would be it ventures into, I guess, like the where can we find you, but also like what are you up to now? Any like promotional things? Kind of, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have the market this weekend, but like that's like small potatoes. Like I don't know anyone from your podcast who's going to be like, I'm there. Promotional wise, like I'm running a couple of sales and stuff in my shop right now, and I also have a seasonal print like the God of Timely Death if people really like that. I'm going to open up my stickers soon. Like I have a whole new batch, like literally just today, of these printed stickers that I made that I really like. So we'll see if people respond well to them too. I'm on Instagram as EonHawk. That's where I'm most vocal, but I also have, oh gosh, what other social medias do I have? A lot. Instagram's the best one, or my website, which is like www.loisongster.com. And I have like a couple of commercial stuff I'm working on right now that I can't show off yet, but I will announce them on Instagram when I'm done with those projects. Oh, and I'm working for a video game company right now, Vertical Shift. So I'm making posters for them in their game right now, and they're a great bunch of guys. They're based in Atlanta, and their game is super fun. I don't have a VR headset, but for people who do have one, like a beta version of that game is open right now, so you're able to just go swinging around in that game right now. So I always want to like get their name out there because for an artist working with them, it's been absolutely lovely. I really enjoy working with them.
What's the name of their game?
Vertical Shift.
Oh, I thought that was the company name. Okay.
Well, company and like they call themselves Vertical Shift. This game. I'm sure like a lot of creative projects. This game kind of got started during COVID, and then they started taking it seriously. They started getting developers on. Then they brought me and another woman on as an artist to make inside posters and billboards, and then started expanding it from there. So like, yeah. So they're like the sweetest guys I've talked to. And every time we have a meeting, they're just like, love it. And they're just like really nice to work with.
Yeah,
for sure.
I would play VR, but I got bad motion sickness.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like, I'm sorry, but like, I'll, when their, promotional stuff comes out, I'll like, definitely, be like, hey, go play this.
I think they have
VR is
like
expensive.
they have a Discord, they have a Twitter. I keep pushing them, being like, "Let me be your social media person." So we'll see if I get on that. But
Oh yeah, I think they would be it would be a missed opportunity if the person, one of the people who are doing their art, you know, was and is familiar with social media, and then like put on their social media team.
oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna. Okay, after this, I'm gonna point them to this podcast, being like, "Look, see, someone else agrees." I mean,
cool.
people are interested in working with them. They're more than welcome to reach out. I don't know what kind of positions they have open right now, but they're always looking or interested in meeting new people who are talking about it or seeing what can help. Like I don't think, other than like timeline or like a time zone, because they always work, like they have other jobs, so they work on this from like 5 to like 10 p.m. at night every night.
Yeah.
So other than that, like they can't like be up in the middle of the night like talking to someone in another country. But like in the United States, like I don't see why not. You just have to reach out to them. But you can just look up like vertical shift and see like all the information on there.
Georgia's
Yeah.
our same time zone. Georgia is our same time zone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're on the eastern.
Yep. They're right below us. Yeah. Heck yeah.
Fuck.
Ooh, you guys have good peach bread, by the way.
Really?
Decades ago, or well, just one. I went to Florida to visit my
Oh,
grandparents,
God.
and my family drove, and we would then go through. We went through this one thing in South Carolina called South of the Border. It's this like famous like fast food.
Yeah.
But then we went through Georgia, and Georgia had these stands on like the sides of freeways, and they were like market stands, like a farmer's market, but they weren't on the highway, but they were like off of like freeways and stuff, and it was people selling peach bread, and it was so good.
Yeah, we do have really good peaches, and like the farmers stands, like if you're just traveling anywhere in rural Georgia, they kind of get out of control. But you can get some really dang good stuff. Like sometimes my parents just stop randomly, being like, "This one looks like a good peach place. We'll stop here." I'm like, "We have a timeline," and they're like, "We included getting peaches in our timeline. We just didn't know where."
That's so awesome.
That's not entirely surprising. We have pretty good barbecue too. There's like a route like through Georgia that you can go for good barbecue. Although I think for y'all that's probably competitive, depending. And
Wait, Georgia barbecue competes with Virginia? I don't think so. I think really?
Some place in Virginia.
yeah, there's some like lower southern Virginia where like you can get in on there. I mean, it's not as normally talked about as like the Carolinas or like Texas or like Tennessee kind of deal. But there's like elements that y'all bring to the party that should be considered.
Well, you know what's so weird about that though is it's a good point, but that stuff gets blurred with Maryland because I personally think Virginia should be known for Old Bay and seafood grill and gumbo stuff, but like Maryland is known for all the seafood crap, and I'm like, that's not right, bro. We got the Chesapeake too.
You're like, that's not fair. We deserve recognition as well.
Yeah, we gotta fight over the Old Bay.
I will be.
Well, I mean, we're technically like the Chesapeake Bay thing, so it's like we should get some credit.
Yeah, man.
You can make that if you need that design, like a sticker of being like, we should be recognized. I can help you with that. I can bring, I guess recognition. There's another word for that. My brain forgets words, which is why I'm an artist and not a writer. But you need a shout out for, like,
If anything, we will probably consult you on an actual digital thumbnail for our podcast because he's created a weird demonic salt and vinegar picture.
Yeah.
This podcast would be like salt and vinegar, like on a bag of chips, but instead of like looking like chips, it'd be like something else that would be like more podcast related. Like it could be sprinklings of like both of y'all's heads or something like that, or it could be like some other theme of the podcast.
Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe like us as chips. I don't know.
Well,
I'll
for
definitely
sure.
Facebook message you about that.
Yeah.
Oh God! Even though we have her on Discord, we'll go ahead and message her on Facebook. Oh well, you have her on
Exclusive
Facebook. I don't.
access. I have exclusive access. I am wonderful.
We have a lot of side private conversations.
Exactly. I'm, not to brag, but I have formed a good rapport with our guests.
Ah, I
It's
love
true.
having a good rapport.
Right.
Um,
Says the writer right there, like butchering all the words. All right then.
oh, exactly, of course. Oh god, there was a word for the longest time that I was pronouncing wrong, and I found out recently that I was pronouncing it wrong, and now I like, yeah, it's great.
What's the word?
Oh well, I can't remember.
Oh,
Oh
That's
my
why I didn't
god.
say it.
I thought you weren't saying chips of like things that just taste like potatoes and say that they're seasoned up to actual chips that are playing the game correctly, and Voodoo is up there. But Voodoo does a chip that's salt and vinegar and barbecue mixed together. And once you've had that chip, you question why they were ever separated in the first place because it's a wonderful taste that should be together. And you get the best of both worlds, where you get the vinegary kind of taste and saltiness, but with the sweetness of the barbecue. So it's just really good.
I would love that. I actually love spicy things. I'm kind of out of place in Virginia when it comes to spicy foods because I mean, we got fans of the spice up here, but all in all, it's a mild. We like it mild up here.
You
But
really give that challenge to your meals.
yeah. Oh, I eat habanero like for fun. Yeah. So there's a new game called Tales of Arise. So the game is Japanese, so I thought the name was Arise, and I thought it was some girl's name. I thought it was like Tales of this girl named Arise, because I think in certain renditions, that's the name Alice in Japanese. So.
Oh. Oh, man, your way is so much more fun.
and I was like, oh, because I know like Tales of Vesperia was like an older game that was popular. It was the main character was like long purple hair. I'm pretty sure it's that one. And then this game came out, and a friend of mine was like, "Oh, dude, I gotta go to GameStop. I just pre-ordered my Tales of Arise," and I'm like, "Shit, it's pronounced like what?"
Wait, hold on. My brain's breaking for a second. What did you just say?
Oh, sorry.
No, that was like your reaction to that, being like, hold on. What did
Yeah.
you
Oh, yeah,
He has
exactly,
so
precisely.
many words he mispronounces, and then he's like, he hates the fact that I say caramel instead of
that's-
caramel.
That's a cultural thing. That's a proven cultural between caramel and caramel. Or, I can't even say it the other way. Caramel is like, this, I think the southern way, but it's like one of those. That's a legitimate, like, there's two ways to say that word.
It's more so
But
because she's not
he
committing.
said-
Because you're not committing. Because you either have to go
Oh my
caramel.
God.
You either say caramel or you say caramel, and you say caramel. I'm like, what the fuck is caramel?
Caramel.
Caramel. You're just taking away the A. There are plenty of things that you don't say one of the letters in it, and many things.
Yeah, like probably. Most of us say probably.
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 Or the British say progress
Progress.
instead of
Yeah.
their progress.
That's fair, but they're wrong about a lot of things. You gotta leave them with that.
Well, yeah, at least they don't measure
Yeah.
things in football fields.
Oh my god. That's like-
It reminded me of a similar thing with I can't remember which game it was, but there's a video game that I really liked, except it has like traditional like turn-based battle, which is really boring nowadays. But they would say onions for Anges instead of Agnes. And when I heard onions, I was like, that sounds so much nicer. And then like someone in the English translation would be like, Agnes, come over here. And I was like, oh, that's horrible. I don't care if it's right. It sounds terrible.
Wow, that's crazy. Really random, but an old chef lady on the Food Network, whose name I can't say, I guess, used to say, and for Italian, she said Italian.
So not even Italian, it'd be Italian? Or
She didn't even say the L. She went Italian, like with a Y.
Oh my god.
it's funny how people just kind of make up their own ways of saying words, and yet it's still kind of like you can understand what they're saying, but it makes you question it every time they do say it.
Completely.
It's one of the things where it's like, I think because I used to be a very avid reader, so I kind of would read things as they were on the page, and then someone would be like, "Oh yeah, no, that's not how you say it," and I'm like, "What do you mean? I sounded it out. It's right there." And they're like, that's not how it sounds, Diana." And I'm like, "Well, I guess I can't read then."
I'm definitely much more of a reader than a sayer. Like, I've read so many books in middle and high school, and I would just read them a certain way. So now sometimes words pop out that I don't think I've ever said before. And my boyfriend will just look at me and he's like, "Repeat that word to me." And I was like, "Nope, I know I've said something wrong, and I'm not giving you that satisfaction again. No, thank you."
Manny does that to me all the time. All the time. And I'm like, "God damn it. I'm not giving you that satisfaction."
Exactly. You're like, you heard it once, it's never happening again.
It's never, but then he'll say a word that's wrong, and he'll be like, "I could never say a word wrong. I don't know what you mean."
The dictionary morphs itself to me.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like,
Precisely.
that's, and you know what's funny is he named this podcast Salt and Vinegar, and he hates salt and vinegar chips.
False
But I love them.
Oh.
But he hates them, and I'm like, why would you name our podcast after the only chip or one of the only chips your girlfriend likes?
Because it's all about compromise, you know?
Yeah. Well, can I offer?
Apparent.
This is now a chip podcast, but I can offer you a recommendation if you haven't tried this chip. It might turn your idea to salt and vinegar.